Welcome to the walkthrough of the frequently made mistakes I observed when reviewing the Assignment 1A submissions for my CS 891 course in the spring of 2024. First and foremost, please document and format your code as described at this link here. Code that isn't documented and formatted properly will not be reviewed henceforth. Second, please don't remove the to-do tags from the code. Submissions that lack to-do tags will also not be reviewed. Let's start by taking a look at some of the mistakes that were made in the proxy side on the client. So here you can see the get movies method. This code is incorrect for a whole bunch of reasons. Check out the examples in the Bearer Quotes case study videos and the walkthrough of the proxy code there for guidance on how to implement this particular method. Let's take a look at the search movies method. Please don't call the query param method here. The query, which is the parameter that's passed in here, needs to be properly appended to the get search route name, which should go up here. Let's take a look at another problem with proxy. Here's the search movies method that takes a list of queries. And here, please make sure you create a constant for the queries string rather than using a hard-coded string literal. And also make sure that the word queries matches what you provide as the parameter name over on the controller side. Here's another problem with this particular proxy method. Don't use the from URI string method with the movies base URL string constant here. That URL is actually set by the get rest template bean that's in the components.java file. And also, as always, replace the use of string literals with the appropriate string constant. Down here, this call to the query parameter is incorrect. You need to be doing some other stuff here. Please take a look at the Bearer Quotes case study for guidance. And then also make sure you make a call to the .build method before you call it to your URI string. Let's now switch over to the server side. We'll start by taking a look at the movie list method that's defined in the components.java file. Here, there's no need to have a local variable. Just return the result of calling this stream, and that will be sufficient. And also, please get in the habit of using toList instead of collect toList. toList is a Java 16 edition and just makes things a little bit more concise. Now switching over to the controller file, a lot of issues here, so let's walk through them. First, please use a string constant here instead of hard coding a string literal, and also there's no need to add the slash here. You can make this code much more concise, and it should just be something like this, get movies or whatever the appropriate string constant is. So that'll make it more concise. Please don't define local variables when you do stuff like this. Just return the call to the get movies method in the service class. This is unnecessary and makes your code more verbose. Down here, in this particular case, this is a problem because something very important is missing here. Once again, take a look at the Bearer Quotes example on the controller there that shows how to do this. And something very important is missing here as well. Again, take a look at the Bearer Quotes example for some guidance. Down here, the annotation is missing altogether. You have to provide the right annotations in your controller. In this case, they're all get mapping annotations. In other cases, we'll use other kinds of annotations there. And make sure that you return list movie, not response entity list movie. And when you do that, then all you have to do is just say service.getMovies rather than saying what is down here, which is more verbose and unnecessary. Moving on to some other issues, you need to replace the use of this with a string constant, which you should define in the constants.java file. And then here, this is the wrong annotation. Once again, take a look at the Bearer Quotes case study. That's why we have those case studies, so that you can get some guidance on what approaches and what patterns to follow. Down here, this is using the wrong parameter type. This should be a list of string queries. It should be queries. Whoops. It should be queries, not query. And this code here doesn't belong in the server side. This should be handled properly when you define this type correctly, and then that will take the type that's passed over properly from the client proxy, which is something else that needs to be done correctly as well. Down here, again, return a response return list of movie, not response entity. And again, you don't need to write all this verbose code. Just say return service.getMovies. Much better. This code is missing the appropriate annotation in a couple places. It doesn't have the right annotation here, and it doesn't have the right annotation here. So well-rounded in problems. Once again, take a look, please, at the Barrel Quotes case study. That'll help you see what you need to do. Finally, let's take a look at some of the implementations of the service class itself. First, there's no need to wrap the mMovies field with a new array list. Just return mMovies directly. Works perfectly fine. And then down here, when you do the searches, and this applies for both of the search methods, make sure that you perform the appropriate case-insensitive search. Otherwise, you won't be able to pass the test. They expect things to be done in a way that's case-insensitive. So you'll need to figure out how to do that. You could always ask ChatGPT how to do that. It'll tell you what you need to do. So that's the walkthrough of the frequently made mistakes that I saw in assignment 1A. You'll get a chance to revise these for assignment 1B and make sure that you fix everything up so it all works properly.